The first thing we want to look at is contrast. There's quite a few ways we can create contrast, but first we need to know that contrast is essentially the degree of difference between elements. And the element with the largest amount of contrast is what your eye is going to go to first. So, for example, this element, and when I say element, I mean a single piece that makes up the whole, is the piece with the largest contrast. So in this little grouping, I've got 3 rectangles, but 2 of them are smaller and the one is bigger. So by creating a larger element than the others, I've given it more contrast, and that's where my eye went the first time. The next thing we can use is color, and by utilizing those color schemes that we've talked about and things like opposite colors or high contrasting colors, if I choose a high contrasting color and use it even in equal amounts to another color, that's where my eye is going to go first. So looking at this, your eye is immediately going to go to the bright orange and then look at the softer, less intrusive color that's here on the left. The next thing is shape. Anytime that we have a repetitive pattern, especially, as soon as there is a shape that is different, that's where our eye is going to go. The human eye likes to find patterns, and anytime that pattern is interrupted, it immediately draws more attention than it would have if it had been the same shape. Also, just so you know, I created contrast in the words on the top of this screen. So I put contrast, which is essentially the theme of this slideshow, is the main idea, and then I supported it with the arrangement of opposite elements, also the degree of difference between elements. But I made sure that you would read this next by making it smaller in size than the other. So that's contrast. Moving on to emphasis. We like to use things like contrast to create emphasis. Now, emphasis means it's where your eye goes first. And often when there's a lot of different things going on, that's what we want to control, is where our viewer's eye goes first. So let's take a look at this top one. There we go. Where does your eye go first? I'm going to just tell you, it's this darkest oval. It's got the strongest color of everything that I can see on here. So that is where my eye is going to go first. And then naturally my eye would go to the ones with slightly less down to the least. So this has the most visual weight because it has the most color. You also can create emphasis by using a contrasting color. So here you can see we've got a pattern of ovals across the page, but we have one that's different. And again, the one that is different is where our eye will go, and it's different with a different color. This could even be a very similar color, and my eye would still go there first, but using a contrasting color is an excellent way to create emphasis. So do you see how we're using contrast to create emphasis amongst lots of different elements? Here we've got again a size thing, so we've got lots of smaller ones and a larger one, and I'm going to look at the largest element first. Shape. Contrasting shape. This oval is again where we look because it's different than all the others. And then we can combine all of these ideas to create really solid emphasis. So I'm showing you that you don't always have to have repetitions of the same piece and maybe changing just the color. So here we've changed the size, we've changed the color strength, and we've changed the shape as well as the color itself to make a lot of emphasis in this one area. So once again, that's where we would look. Turning all of these on so we can create emphasis by utilizing the strongest color, utilizing the area with a contrasting color, utilizing size, contrasting shape, and then combining everything to make a more complex area of emphasis.